You can't expect me to delete my dating apps. I need options, she said while living in my apartment, so I gave her one option, move out. Now she finally knows what it's like to be replaced. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. When Tessa first moved in, it felt like we were taking the next step. Not a huge leap, just something natural. Her lease had ended. Her roommate moved out suddenly and she said she needed a few weeks to figure things out. I told her she could crash at my place until she got back on her feet. That was almost 8 months ago. I didn't mind at first. I liked having her around. I'd come home from work to her music, playing a messy bun, her laugh bouncing around the apartment. She brought life into my place. At least that's how it felt in the beginning. She was different from me. I'm structured, steady, the kind of guy who sets reminders for everything. Tessa was spontaneous, always chasing something new. New friends, new hobbies, new experiences. I told myself that's what made us work. I grounded her. She pulled me out of my comfort zone. It sounded balanced in theory, but slowly it started to feel like I was the only one keeping things standing. She didn't contribute to rent, which was fine at first since she was looking for a job, but her job search looked a lot like scrolling on her phone in my hoodie while I cooked. She said she was applying for marketing roles, but every time I asked how it was going, she'd wave her phone and say, "It's all about timing." She always had time for other things though. Lunches with friends from the gym, late night, drinks with a friend visiting from out of town. When I'd ask who she was meeting, she'd smile and say, "Relax, babe. You know, I'm loyal. You're acting like my dad, not my boyfriend." That line stung more than I'd admit. The first rail crack appeared one night when we were watching a movie on the couch. Her phone buzzed twice and she grabbed it so fast she almost spilled her drink. I caught a glimpse of the notification, a dating app icon. I froze for a second, thinking maybe I imagined it, but she noticed my look and laughed. "Oh my God, Ethan," she said, shaking her head. "It's not what you think." "Really?" I asked. "Because it looked exactly like what I think. It's just a stupid app. I don't even use it." "Seriously," she said, grinning like I was being ridiculous. "I like seeing what's out there. It's like window shopping." "While you're living with me," I asked quietly. She rolled her eyes. "You're reading too much into it. I'm not meeting anyone. It's harmless. You can't expect me to delete everything just because we live together." I didn't know what to say. I wanted to believe her. I told myself she was just being immature, not malicious, that she'd eventually realize how disrespectful that was. But the truth was, she already knew. She just didn't care. After that, things started feeling off. She'd spend hours on her phone, smiling at the screen. She'd leave dressed up, saying she was meeting friends, but never specify who. When I tried to talk to her about it, she'd switch the blame instantly. "You're getting clingy," she said one night, standing by the door with her purse. "I can't breathe when you're like this." "I'm asking where you're going," I said. "That's not clingy. You're trying to control me," she shot back. "If you don't trust me, maybe we shouldn't live together." That was her go-to line whenever I questioned anything. "If you don't trust me, maybe we shouldn't live together." And every time I drop it because I didn't want to start another fight because I thought being calm meant being mature, but it just meant she knew I wouldn't do anything. A week later, we went to a friend's dinner party. One of my buddies brought a bottle of wine, nothing fancy. Tessa leaned over during dinner and whispered, "Please don't tell them that's from you. It's cheap." "I'll pretend it's mine." I stared at her. "You're kidding." She gave me a tight smile. "Just trust me, okay?" That's when it hit me. She wasn't embarrassed by the wine. She was embarrassed by me. When we got home, I tried to talk to her about it. She didn't apologize. Instead, she smirked and said, "You take everything so personally. Not everything's an attack." Then she added, half laughing, "Honestly, you'd be less uptight if you had options too." "Options?" I repeated. "Yeah," she said, pulling her hair up into a bun. "You can't expect me to delete my dating apps. I need options. It's not like we're married." She said it casually, like she was talking about a shopping list. I didn't argue. I just nodded, pretending I didn't care. But that sentence, "I need options," replayed in my head for days. It became the moment I realized I wasn't in a relationship. I was a placeholder. And placeholders don't beg to be kept. They step aside. After that night, I started watching more carefully, not to spy on her, but to finally see her without excuses. It didn't take long. Tessa got bolder once she realized I wouldn't push back. She'd sit on the couch, swiping on her phone screen tilted away, smirking at messages she clearly wasn't sending to friends. I'd walk by and she'd minimize the app so fast it became a reflex. One morning I made coffee before work and noticed she was dressed up, full makeup, curled hair, perfume, strong enough to smell from across the room. "Big interview?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She didn't look up from her phone. "Just brunch." "With who?" She smiled, finally meeting my eyes. "Why do you need to know everything?" "Because you live here," I said. She sighed like I was exhausting her. "Ethan, I'm not doing this. You're acting jealous again. It's not attractive." "I'm asking a question, not accusing you," I said quietly. "Same difference," she muttered, grabbing her purse. "You know I miss when you were chill? You used to be fun before you turned into this." She left before I could reply. The next few days felt like walking through fog. I was still working, still paying the bills, but mentally I was somewhere else. I kept thinking about that word, options. She wasn't just keeping them open. She was living like she already had them lined up. The confirmation came a week later. I got home early one Friday. She thought I'd be working late, so when I opened the door, she froze mid-laugh, sitting on the couch with two of her friends, both guys. One of them, some tall guy with sleeve tattoos and gym shorts, had his arm draped casually across the back of the couch just behind her shoulders. She didn't move away. "Hey babe," she said, trying to sound normal. "You're home early?" "Clearly," I said, looking at the stranger who barely acknowledged me. "This is just a hangout," she added quickly. "Relax." "Right," I said. "Just 3 friends hanging out in my apartment while I pay for everything." The tattooed guy chuckled. "You, the landlord, or something?" I looked straight at him. "Yeah." "And rinse overdue." Tessa stood up fast, annoyed. "God, you're so dramatic. It's not that deep." You're having guys over without telling me, Tessa." I said, "You think that's not disrespectful?" She rolled her eyes. "You're acting insecure again." "This is exactly why I keep saying you need to loosen up." "Loosen up while you flirt with other guys on my couch?" I asked. The guy raised his hands. "Hey man, I didn't know you two were." "It's fine," I interrupted. "You don't need to explain. You can both go." Tessa snapped. "You don't get to kick my friends out. This isn't your house." I turned to her calm but firm. "Actually, it is." Silence. Her friends shuffled awkwardly. And within a minute, both of them left. She stood there fuming, arms crossed, face red with anger. "You just embarrassed me," she said. "No," I replied. "You did that yourself." That night we had the fight that ended everything. She started pacing, saying I was controlling that, I didn't trust her, that she deserved freedom. "You're suffocating me," she said, tears welling up. "I can't live like this, constantly being monitored." I let her finish, then asked, "What exactly are you fighting for, Tessa? The right to act single while living Rountree?" She glared at me. "You're twisting everything." "I'm just being honest about who I am. I can't pretend to be some obedient girlfriend. I need options." There it was again. Options. I nodded slowly. "You're right. You should have them." She blinked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means I'm done getting in the way," I said quietly. "You want to see what's out there? Go ahead. You've got 2 days to move out." Her jaw dropped. "You're kicking me out over this." "Not over this," I said. "Over everything that led up to it." She laughed in disbelief. "Wow. You think you're making some kind of power move. You're just proving you can't handle a real woman." I smiled a little. "Then I guess you'll find someone who can." That shut her up. She stormed into the bedroom, slammed the door, and spent the next hour calling friends, hoping someone would let her crash. I could hear her through the wall, the tone flipping between anger and desperation. I didn't say another word. I sat on the couch she used to occupy, drinking the same coffee she always complained about, and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Peace. For the first time, the apartment was quiet, and I liked it that way. The next morning, she was still in the bedroom when I woke up. Normally, she'd be blasting music, doing makeup, or scrolling through TikTok while I made breakfast. But this time, there was silence. Heavy, uncomfortable silence. When I walked in, she was sitting on the edge of the bed, phone in hand, eyes red. She looked up at me, her voice small for once. "So that's really it, you're just done?" "Yeah," I said. "I am." She shook her head slowly, forcing a laugh that didn't sound like one. "You're seriously throwing away everything we built because you got jealous." "Jealous," I repeated. "Tessa, you brought other guys into my home, you flirted in front of me, you disrespected me every chance you got, and then acted like it was my fault for noticing." She crossed her arms. "You're overreacting. None of that meant anything. I just wanted attention. Okay, you stopped making me feel special." "So you replaced it with validation from strangers?" I asked. She groaned, rolling her eyes. "You just don't get it. Every girl wants to feel desired. You got too comfortable." I leaned against the door frame. "You know what's funny? You keep saying I don't make you feel special, but you never once asked what I needed. Not once. Everything's been about you since day one." Her voice cracked. "You're being cruel right now." "I'm being honest," I said. "You wanted freedom, Tessa. I'm giving it to you." She tried a softer approach after that. Her tone changed, the fake confidence melting away. "Ethan, wait." She said, "Can we just talk about this like adults? You don't have to kick me out. Maybe we just need some space." I stayed quiet, packing my gym bag with a few essentials. "I can do better," she continued, stepping closer. "I'll stop talking to those guys. I'll delete their numbers. Just don't do this right now, please." I zipped the bag and finally met her eyes. "Tessa, I've already made peace with it. You don't need to perform." Her lip trembled. "I'm not performing. I'm trying to fix things." "No," I said, voice calm but firm. "You're trying to avoid the consequences of things you chose to do." She didn't respond right away. She just stood there looking lost, realizing I wasn't bluffing. Then the anger came back sharp and defensive. "You think you're some perfect guy," she snapped. "You're boring, Ethan. You don't take risks. You don't know how to have fun. That's why I had to find excitement elsewhere. You made me do this." I picked up my keys. "Then you should thank me for setting you free to go find more excitement." Her jaw dropped. "You're really walking out." I nodded. "No more fights. No more lectures. You can keep the apartment for the weekend. I'll come back Monday to make sure you're gone. She laughed bitterly. You'll regret this. You're not going to find anyone who puts up with you. I'm not looking for anyone, I said. That's the point. I left before she could answer. The hallway outside my apartment felt like fresh air for the first time in months. Every step I took toward the elevator made me feel lighter. By the time I reached my car, I wasn't angry anymore, just done. That night, I stayed at a friend's place, an old coworker who'd seen me struggle through this relationship. When I told him what happened, he just nodded like it was inevitable. About time, man, he said. She's been using you since day one. I didn't argue because deep down I knew he was right. I just didn't want to admit it until I saw it for myself. Over the weekend, she called 5 times, then 10, then 20. Her first few voicemails were angry, blaming me, accusing me of ruining her life. Then the tone shifted to sad apologies, promises, tears. By Sunday night, I stopped listening altogether. When I came back Monday, she was gone. Her closet was empty. A few random things left behind. A hairbrush, an old hoodie, a pair of heels. There was a note on the counter. You didn't have to do this. I hope you're happy alone. I folded it, tossed it in the trash, and started cleaning. It was strange how quiet the place felt without her. No perfume lingering in the air, no music, no constant buzzing from her phone, just silence. But this time, it wasn't lonely. It was peaceful. And when I finally sat down on that couch, the same one where she flirted with other men, I smiled. She got her freedom. I got my peace. The first week without her was quieter than I expected, but in a good way. I went to work, hit the gym, actually slept through the night for once. No fights, no drama. Then the messages started. At first, they were casual check-ins. Hey, how are you? Just wondering if we can talk. Can I come get the rest of my stuff? I replied only once. Monday after 6:00, I'll be home. She showed up right on time wearing one of her apology outfits, hair done, subtle makeup, just enough perfume to remind me of what used to make me weak. She tried to smile. You look good. So do you, I said, flatly, holding the door open. Her eyes flicked around the apartment like she was walking through a museum of her old life. It feels weird being here again. Then don't stay long. That hit her. She swallowed, then sat on the couch. The same one from that night. Ethan, listen. She started softly. I messed up. I got caught up in stupid things that didn't matter. You didn't deserve that. I didn't say anything. I just let her talk. I thought I wanted freedom, but really I just didn't appreciate what I had. She continued, voice trembling. I thought those guys liked me, but the second they realized I didn't have my own place or money, they disappeared. I raised an eyebrow. Even your options realized what you were. She winced. You don't have to say it like that. I'm just being honest, like you always said. You wanted... She bit her lip. I know I can't undo what I did, but maybe we can start over. I've been thinking about us a lot. I leaned back against the counter. Tessa, you didn't think about us when it mattered. You thought about what you could get away with. Her voice cracked. I was stupid. Okay, but you loved me once. Doesn't that mean anything? It did. I said, but love dies when respect does. You killed both. She looked like she might cry, but instead she stood up suddenly angry again. So that's it. You're just cold now. You don't even care. I shrugged. I cared when it could have made a difference. She stared at me for a long moment, then whispered, You'll regret this. I doubt it. I said and opened the door. She left without another word. For a while, she kept testing the boundary. Little texts, random calls, usually after midnight. I miss you. Can we talk? Please answer. Then one day, a mutual friend texted me. Bro, you won't believe this. Tessa tried talking to her ex again. I laughed. Which one? The one before you. The guy she used to call toxic. Apparently she had messaged him on Instagram, tried to rekindle something, told him she was single and working on herself. He replied once, something short like hope you're good, and then blocked her. A week later, she posted one of those long, vague captions on social media. Some people never appreciate your heart until it's too late. Healing and focusing on me. The comments were brutal. Half her friends didn't even bother defending her anymore. People knew what she did. Word gets around fast when you make drama your brand. She texted me again that night. I just wish we could go back to how things were. I didn't respond. The next weekend, I ran into her by accident. Grocery store parking lot. She looked different. No makeup, messy bun hoodie. That clearly wasn't hers. She froze when she saw me. Hey, how have you been? She asked, forcing a smile. Good. You... She hesitated, trying to be. Things have been rough. I nodded. Yeah, I figured. Her voice dropped to a whisper. I lost a lot when I lost you. I almost felt bad almost. But then I remembered every time she rolled her eyes, every time she called me insecure, every time she laughed when I tried to set a boundary. So instead of comforting her, I just said we both gained something too. She frowned. What's that supposed to mean? I got my peace, I said. And you got your freedom. For a second, she didn't say anything. Then she looked away, blinking fast. Guess I didn't handle freedom very well. Most people don't. I said, walking past her. She turned desperate now. Ethan, please, can we just talk for 5 minutes? I'm not trying to get back together. I need closure. I looked at her one last time. You already got it. You just didn't like the ending. And with that, I walked away. That was the last time I saw her. A few weeks later, someone sent me a screenshot of her new account. Private, new handle, new bio. The old one was gone. No more selfies, no more queen energy, just silence. And honestly, that's when I knew she finally learned the lesson I couldn't teach her. You can play with people's hearts all you want until everyone finally stops playing back. It's been about 8 months since that parking lot moment the last time I saw Tessa in person. It's strange how someone can once dominate your entire mind and then slowly fade into a background noise you don't even notice anymore. That's what happened with her. The text stopped, the call stopped, and honestly, I forgot to even check if she'd try again. I moved to a new apartment across town. Nothing fancy, but quiet, clean, and mine. My mornings are peaceful now. I make coffee, read, hit the gym before work. The version of me that existed back then feels like another person entirely. People ask sometimes if I'd ever take her back. I always laugh a little because it's such a pointless question. You can't take back something that already proved it wasn't yours. About 2 months ago, a mutual friend Rachel invited me to a small housewarming party. I almost didn't go. I wasn't in the mood for small talk, but she mentioned a few old friends would be there, so I figured why not. When I got there, I saw her almost immediately. Tessa, she was standing near the kitchen, pretending to laugh at something, clutching a half-empty glass like it was an anchor. Her hair was shorter and she'd lost that shiny confidence she used to weaponize. She looked like someone who hadn't slept well in weeks. Our eyes met for half a second before she quickly looked away. I just smiled politely and went to greet the others. Halfway through the night, Rachel whispered, "She didn't know you'd be here. She looked like she saw a ghost when you walked in." I laughed softly. Then I guess the ghost finally found peace. Later, as I was getting ready to leave, Tessa approached me. She waited until I was putting my coat on. "Ethan," she said, voice quiet, "can we talk for a second?" I paused, looked around. Everyone else was laughing in the living room. "Sure. What's up?" She shifted nervously. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry for everything. I was selfish and I treated you horribly. I didn't realize what I had until it was gone." Her tone was flat, not fake, but hollow, like she practiced this in the mirror too many times. I nodded. "I appreciate you saying that." She bit her lip. "I really mean it. You were the only person who actually cared about me. Everyone else just wanted something." I stayed quiet, letting her keep talking. "I thought I'd be happier," she continued, "but every guy after you just made me feel smaller. I pushed away the one person who actually made me feel safe." I looked her dead in the eye. "You didn't push me away, Tessa. You threw me out. There's a difference." Her face fell. "I know. I regret it every day." "You should," I said simply. That made her blink. She probably expected me to say something comforting, something soft, but I wasn't there to make her feel better about her own mistakes. She sighed shakily. I keep thinking about what it would have been like if I hadn't messed up. If we just worked things out." I slipped my hands in my pockets. "We did work things out, just not the way you wanted. I learnt who I am without you, and that's the version that's actually happy." She swallowed hard. "So there's really nothing left to say, huh?" "There's nothing left to fix," I corrected. "Some things are just done." For a long second, she stared at me, eyes glistening. "I really miss you." I smiled politely. "I hope you find someone worth missing less." Her eyes filled with tears, but I walked away before she could say anything else. I haven't seen or heard from her since that night, but I did hear through the grapevine that she moved back in with her parents for a while. Apparently, one of the guys she was seeing ended up cheating on her, and the fallout wrecked her pretty badly. People always say karma isn't real, but I think it's more subtle than that. It's not about cosmic punishment. It's about the universe letting you taste your own medicine through someone else's hands. She finally got to see what it's like to be replaced, to be lied to feel disposable. And that's not something I need to celebrate. It's just what happens when someone keeps burning bridges and acting surprised they're stranded. As for me, I'm doing better than ever. I've been promoted, started traveling a bit for work, and reconnected with people I'd lost touch with when I was constantly walking on eggshells around her. There's someone new in my life. Nothing serious yet, but it feels healthy. No games, no power struggles, no guilt trips disguised as honesty, just peace. Sometimes when I think about the whole thing, I realize I don't even hate her anymore. She was the wake-up call I needed. She taught me that love without respect is just self-destruction dressed up as devotion. And when I finally stopped trying to fix her chaos, my life stopped being chaotic. So no, I don't want her back. I don't miss her voice. I don't wonder how she's doing. She became a lesson. And lessons don't belong in your future. They belong in your past where they did their job and stayed there. And that's exactly where Tessa is now. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.